staff. We actually bought the airline 3 days after 9/11 and took it over on December the 8th, 2001. Over the last 14 years, we have gone from 2 planes to now we have 200 planes. And in the first year, we carried 200,000 passengers, and this year we will carry 55 million passengers. And it shows you the huge potential in Southeast Asia. We now have 9 airlines, and since we've started, we've carried 300 million guests. It has been far from easy doing this, but it shows you the potential. I've had every calamity known to mankind: high oil, low oil, SARS, bombs, foreign governments blocking us, national carriers. But there's always been a way. And I think that's the amazing thing about Southeast Asia, that you always find a way to market yourself. I don't know if you remember SARS. During SARS, everyone thought they were going to die if they flew. And most airlines cut their flights. So I told my staff, look, this is the best time to go build our brand. Triple our advertising. Because no one else is advertising, it's the best time to do it. And my staff thought, he's finally gone mad, you know. But I said, no, do it, do it, do it. We dropped the fare, because I knew Malaysians very well. If you put a fare low enough, they'll risk their lives. Okay? 800 ringgit to Kota Kinabalu, no, I'm not going to go. 80 ringgit, who cares? I'm going. So, you know, we always found a way to get through these calamities. And I think that shows the resilience of Southeast Asia. And that's how we've been able to grow from 2 planes to now 200 planes in 14 years. The propensity to consume, the propensity to start new things is immense. And over the last 7 years, we've won the world's best low-cost carrier 7 times in a row, which has been something we're pretty proud about. And last week, we won Asia's best cabin crew. We fulfilled a fantasy of mine that we beat Singapore Airlines. So there's a new girl in town. She's twice the fun and half the price. We beat the Singapore girl. So low cost doesn't mean low quality. And I think this is what excites us. You know, we've been able to create these 55 million passengers in a year, really through starting routes that were never done before. And I think that's what shows you the potential of this market. 60% of our routes are routes that were never flown before, and we've created destinations that just weren't destinations before. An airport in Indonesia called Bandung, no one flew there before. I used to record music there in my last life, and so I started to fly there. And you know, over the last 13 years, when we first started, we were the only airline flying there. And now there are about 32 airlines flying there. We ourselves have 32 flights going to Bandung every day. So it shows you the huge potential in Southeast Asia, and we see enormous potential in the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia going forward. And we've created this ASEAN tourism market where people from Philippines never flew to Thailand, or Thais going to Philippines. And that shows you this potential of this huge market in Southeast Asia. When everyone talks about Asia, they think of China and India. But really, we have, in Southeast Asia, 600 million people. It's a fantastic market. And if you think in 14 years, we've gone from 2 planes to 200 planes, really driven out of Southeast Asia, it shows you the enormous potential of this market. And innovation comes in different ways: new routes, technology, the way you manage people, which I'll end my presentation on. You know, we flew to Macau from Southeast Asia, which was never done before. I remember doing a cheeky ad: at least you have a low fare to take you home when you lose all your money. And I think that kind of innovation has been the bread and butter of what AirAsia has done over the last 14 years. So why do I think ASEAN has it all? Really, it's the people. I think our biggest strength in this part of the world is the people. It's been hard building an ASEAN brand. You know, I remember when I first went up to Thailand, the pilots refused to go in the same bus as our cabin crew. because they said it was beneath them, they needed their own bus. In Malaysia, it's the other way around. The pilots refused to go in the bus unless the cabin crew were there. And I won't tell you what the Indonesians want. So, but we were headstrong in making sure that we built this ASEAN brand. And really, we've created a culture where it doesn't matter where you're from in Southeast Asia, you see yourself as ASEAN, which hasn't been easy to do. And the enormous potential of our people has enabled us to grow from this 2 planes to 200 planes. And we've done it in strange ways. So, I generally, in the old days, I used to carry bags once a month. I used to check in, and I'd be a cabin crew. I didn't think you could be an effective CEO unless you got down to the ground and knew what was happening. And I wanted to meet my staff because I knew that I couldn't find talent in the conventional way. I'll give you 2 quick examples. When I was carrying bags, we used to be on the 737, and we used to just throw the bags in. I mean, not throw the bags in, lovingly put the bags in. Nice bag, go in. And when we went to the Airbus, it was 2 inches taller, and we couldn't lovingly put the bag in. So the guys asked me to buy belt loaders. I went, no, we can't afford it. You can't buy belt loaders. So when I was next on carrying bags, they put me on the flights to Indonesia. Now, people who generally fly with us fly with their house. People who fly to Indonesia fly with their neighbor's house as well. So I kind of almost broke my back in this process. And I went, all right, guys, I'm wrong. You're right. So we bought belt loaders. But I met so many great people in my company who had left school at 13 or 14, but were much, much smarter than me. So we allowed, our first cadet pilot program, we allowed anyone to take part in it. Didn't matter when you went to school, when you left. And this is my main insight, that your biggest resource is actually staring right in front of you. It's the people in your organization. Our first 19 cadets, 11 of them came from different areas, store boys, accounts clerks, etc. And I'll put up one. His name, they've gone the other way around. Never mind. On the far right, Coogan was a dispatch boy who left school at 14. And now he's a pilot in AirAsia. And we have about 32 pilots who left school when they were 13 or 14. And we have one boy who carried bags for us, who doesn't like to be known. And he had the highest ever marks in Malaysian Flying Academy, and he's now a captain. So you join to carry bags, and now you're a captain of a brand new A320. And we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of examples of that. And I think that's Southeast Asia's biggest strength, is the people within the organization. And that girl on the left, I met her in the bar when I was having a Ribena. And she said, my dream is to be a pilot. And at that point, we didn't have female pilots. And I went to my chief pilot and said, why are there no female pilots? And he came up with the most ridiculous answer I've ever heard. And I said, if a woman can run a country, she can certainly fly a plane. And today we have 45 female pilots. And the other day was history. Captain was female, co-pilot was female, all the cabin crew were female, and all the passengers were male. That last bit's not quite true. But again, Southeast Asia was missing out a huge talent pool of women, and of our top 10 executives, and one of my CEOs, the chairman is here, Ma'an, women dominate AirAsia. And this girl's a fantastic story. She was a cabin crew. She came up to me in the bar and said, my dream's to be a pilot. I said, go for it. She was a very smart girl, so she got in easily. Then she calls me up and says, everyone says I'm really beautiful. Can I take part in Miss Thailand? I said, interesting concept. Okay, if you win, I get to use your photograph for the rest of your life for free. She won Miss Thailand. She took part in Miss Universe. She came 5th in Miss Universe. And now she's a captain in AirAsia. So we're the only airline in the world with a Miss Thailand flying for them. Beat that, Singapore Airlines. But the moral of the story is, if we didn't have the kind of structure we did, she never would have had the courage to ask. So, I dressed up today because Tony was very strict about what I wore. I bought my trousers in Marks and Spencer's down the road. But generally, I dress down, because if you look worse than your staff, then they feel very comfortable talking to you. Generally, in the airport, though, they think I'm an illegal immigrant, but I'll deal with that. So I just want to finish off real quick. Why do I see the huge potential of ASEAN, and why do I hope all the leaders get together to see that if we get together and put down nationalistic differences, the potential can be massive for the people of Southeast Asia. Putting people first as opposed to nationalism, everyone will win. Europe has about slightly less people than Southeast Asia, has 4,350 aircraft and 880 million air travelers. That's ASEAN, with 1,600 aircraft and 233 million people. Could be much larger if we broke down these nationalistic walls. We're still fighting for open skies. We still want a regulator that creates ASEAN as one. It would be much better like Europe if we had one sky. So there is huge potential in ASEAN, and it's down to the leaders. It's down to businesses as well to put down their protectionism and nationalism to really build the benefits. We've built an ASEAN company, but we could be much bigger, and there could be many more. The Cebus, the Lions, the Tigers could all have a much larger market, create much more jobs, create much more economic. So my appeal here and my insight is, we have great people, allow those people to build great companies in Southeast Asia that benefits it all. So that's it for me. 10 minutes is up. I'm on time, just like AirAsia, generally. It took me 3 years to get the ASEAN logo on my plane to show how difficult it is, but we never give up. We never give up. And I'm the world's biggest dreamer. And yesterday, I had an amazing dream. I was the only car on Rojas Boulevard. It was like having sex. It was unbelievable. I want to applaud the Philippine organizers and Philippines for an amazing transformation in this country. I'm so proud to have an airline here, and I think you really are the leading light of Southeast Asia and ASEAN, and many governments could learn a lot from you guys. Thank you very much, and see you on a flight.